Romshinators, thank you so much for joining me once again here on Romshi Radio. Let's do the call of the Romshinator. Here we go. Thank you for joining me. Cognitive surrender leads AI users to abandon logical thinking, research finds. I don't think we needed research for this. I think we can see this mirrored within our own selves, because we love the artificial. We love something that can talk to us. We feel like if something is talking to us and has a nice tone that has our best interest in mind, this is something we're not really used to. I mean, we're used to the television talking to us, the YouTube videos talking to us, but in order for us to experience that, we know there's at least another human being on the other end. We're not used to it. In the 300 million years since human beings first arrived into the galaxy, into the solar system, before we were sold off in cosmic trade and brought here and made into a hybrid species so they could harvest our energy through giving us negative feedback loops. Before all that happened, we were still trusting that when somebody was communicating to us, it was in fact an intelligent being who maybe had our best interest in mind, but now we've flipped it all on its head. We now think subconsciously that AI is conscious. You can see this when people refer to it with pronouns. When people say, ChatGPT was talking to me and he said, it's like, no, he didn't say anything. This is in fact just a Cthulhu-level string of algorithmic responses. I mean, it can be good for certain things, but it is true that our minds are under an attack that it has never had since the beginning of time. And of course, we're doing it to ourselves, as with everything. This is pregnant with meaning in our own lives. It's like that meme where it's like looking at the person who destroyed my life and you're staring in the mirror. That is society. Within that is a microcosm of the entire history of humanity. And that's what we're talking about here. Okay, we're talking about not only the new development of AI, but the entire history of humanity, and on a microcosmic level, everything that's ever gone wrong in your own life, because the world is a fractal. And that's why fractals are naturally scary. When I see a fractal, I get scared. Like if I was floating in space and I saw a giant fractal in front of me, I would shit myself, because fractals are scary. Because on a subconscious level, we know it's the proof that everything small is meaningful, everything small is massive in the eyes of the Lord, in the eyes of the galaxy, because it's all a microcosm, as above, so below. The Hermetic teachings, we know this, Romshinators. Okay. Experiments show large majorities uncritically accept faulty AI answers. This is true. People used to do this with the television. People used to do this with the internet. Now they're just doing it with AI. We've all experienced this. When it comes to large language model power tools, there are generally two broad categories of users. On one side are those who treat AI as a powerful but sometimes faulty service that needs careful human oversight and reviews to detect reasoning or factual flaws in responses. Well, I want to be in part of that group. Well, I want to be part of that. Is there two groups? And that sounds like a smart group. On the other side are those who routinely outsource their critical thinking to what they see as an all-knowing machine. Yeah, that's my kind of party. Get the brain out. That's what I've said. When I was a kid, when I was like 13, 14, I went to my doctor and I said, take this brain out of me. Take this thing out. I don't want it. It's getting in the way of me watching television. It's getting in the way of me chilling on the couch. It keeps telling me I need to better myself. It keeps telling me I need to explore the universe and become socialized and get out there and see what I can do with my life. I don't want that. I just want to watch Jay and Silent Bob Strikes Back every day and experience it as if I'm watching it for the first time. And the doctor looked at me and he said, I would love to put you on as many drugs as possible, but no amount of drugs I can put you on is going to take the brain out of your head. And I said, Doc, put me on the waiting list. And they still haven't talked to me. They still haven't gotten back. So, I mean, maybe this is their answer to the brain out of the head scenario that I wanted. I've been waiting for that one. Recent research goes a long way into forming a new psychological framework for that second group, which regularly engages in cognitive surrender to AI's seemingly authoritative answers. Sorry. I'm messing up my words. Reading out loud is hard. I don't know if you guys know this. Reading out loud is a skill. It is a trade. It is a Red Seal certification. That research also provides some experimental examination of when and why people are willing to outsource their critical thinking to AI. It's because it's easy. We don't need to do all these tests. I mean, I can tell you why. Because they've been told their whole life they're stupid by any authority figure they've ever had. They've been pushed around. They've been shoved around. Every time they've spoken up, they've been told they're wrong. Their bosses have threatened to fire them. Their parents have threatened not to take them to the ice cream shop. Their teachers told them they were dumb, that they didn't know the right answers. And now they're saying, okay, give me the answers. Take the brain out of the head. Our whole society has been, hey, take your brain out of your head and accept what I tell you. And then now when we have a take a brain out of the head machine, people are like, whoa, why are you guys taking your brain out of your head? We still need you to have some brains in your head. That's what I'm saying. So society has told a large amount of people, hey, get the brain out of your head. All of a sudden, brain out of the head machine arrives, and then here we go. Is this making sense? Is this making sense? Did I just repeat that too many times? Here we go. I don't know, man. You let me know down below if that makes sense. Just ask the answer machine. In Thinking Fast, Slow, and Artificial: How AI is Reshaping Human Reasoning and the Rise of Cognitive Surrender, researchers from the University of Pennsylvania sought to build on existing scholarship that outlines the two broad categories of decision-making, one shaped by fast, intuitive, and effective processing, System 1, and one shaped by slow, deliberate, and analytical reasoning, System 2. The onset of AI systems, the researchers argue, has created a new third category of artificial cognition, in which decisions are driven by external, automated, data-driven reasoning originating from algorithmic systems rather than the human mind. I don't really think this is all that new, okay? Because they've just outlined two forms of reasoning, and then the third one is basically, in a way you could say it's just accepting authority. I mean, I guess what they're saying is if an authoritative human force guides your decision making, then maybe it falls into one of the other two categories, but that if a artificially intelligent source defines your decision making, then it falls into this third category. But at the end of the day, the person is still accepting information and making decisions based on some sort of position of perceived authority. So whether, I don't know. I mean, I'm not a scientist, but I feel like we didn't really need this third category. But I guess for the unprecedented brain out of head machine that ChatGPT is, maybe we can, for the time, concede that a third category is needed. That's how I would talk if I was an intellectual, guys. Did I do good there? Would you, if I put on a suit and cut my hair and appeared on the Lex Friedman podcast and said what I just said, but in a way less exciting voice, if I slowed it down, factually speaking, no, it's got to be closer to the mic because I'm going to speak with zero energy. This is how the scientists go. Factually speaking, there exist two types of decision making. And then the other guy goes, yeah. So the first type is to do with fast cognitive research. I'm telling you, so if you got your information from a slow speaking, boring guy in a suit and made your decisions based on that, it's not much different, because a slow speaking guy in a suit, he is signaling to you some sort of authority, just like ChatGPT is signaling to you some sort of authority, because our imaginations imagines it like the answer machine, like something that is infinitely wise, So I don't know. I'm just spitballing. Let me know what you think down below. In the past, people have often used tools from calculations to GPS systems for a kind of task-specific cognitive offloading, strategically delegating some jobs to reliable automated algorithms while using their own internal reasoning to oversee and evaluate the results. But the researchers argue that AI systems have given rise to a categorically different form of cognitive surrender, in which users provide minimal internal engagement. Okay, I see what they mean. So they're saying that in this version, the person is opting out of so much. Like for a GPS, if it's leading you into a lake, you will probably stop the car. But what they're saying is they find that with the ChatGPT stuff, people are driving into the lake. Interesting. And I think that has to do with the fact that it's speaking to us, and our brains are not used to something speaking to us that is mechanical and automated. I mean, it's not something that we've ever had in the history of humanity. So it is definitely playing tricks on our mind. And It's horrifying, you know, when you realize it is kind of like a horrifying psychological concept, okay? Different blah, 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 where was I? And accept the AI's reasoning wholesale without oversight or verification. This uncritical abdication of reasoning itself is particularly common when LLM's output is delivered fluently, confidently, or with minimal friction, they point out. And this does make sense because a lot of the times we have a lot of thoughts in our heads, thoughts and feelings in our heads, and even dreams and goals. And when we say those things to people, you know, often their responses make us feel small or stupid or stop it altogether. And there is a certain phenomena of when you have a big goal or a big thought or a big idea and you share it with someone and they don't react the way you want them to, we feel deflated and we feel like almost we've let some of the air out. You know, we've given something away. But anytime you say something to an AI, it reacts with the complete excitement and splendor, and it amps you up, and it seems like it's devoting so much to you. Like if you have a business idea and you say it to a friend of yours and he kind of doesn't even look up from his phone and he goes like, I don't know, man, your last idea didn't work. Like, do you have any money to make that happen? I don't know, man. Like, you know, sometimes the biggest haters are people within your own circle. That's why I keep my circle small. All to the OMG, you know I got it all. And we feel deflated when we share our ideas and our thoughts with people around us and they don't respond the way that we would like them to. So when AI responds the way it does, it's really hard for our minds not to get excited and want to keep talking to it. You know, and I can't really blame us that much. To measure the prevalence and effect of this kind of cognitive surrender to AI, the researchers performed a number of studies based on cognitive reflection tests. These tests are designed to elicit incorrect answers from participants that default to intuitive System 1 thought processes, but to be relatively simple to answer to those who use more deliberate System 2 thought processes. Okay, I'm keeping up. I understand exactly what they mean. I haven't lost track. I definitely haven't forgot what the systems are. For their experiments, the researchers provided participants with optional access to a chatbot that had been modified to randomly provide inaccurate answers to the CRT questions about half of the time. The accurate answers on the other half. Okay, I get it. The researchers hypothesized that users who frequently consulted the chatbot would let those incorrect answers override the intuitive or deliberative processes, hurting their overall performance and highlighting the dangers of cognitive surrender. I wish they would just get to the point. I mean, I feel like I like reading, but I feel like I'm kind of getting bored. Let's skip to the bottom here. Overall, across the 1,372 participants, over 9,500 individual trials, the researchers found subjects were willing to accept faulty AI reasoning a whopping 73.2% of the time. While only overruling 19.7% of the time, the researchers say this demonstrates that people readily incorporated AI-generated outputs into their decision-making processes, often with minimal friction or skepticism. Fluent, confident outputs are treated as what's that say? Epistemically authoritative? Just say authoritative. I hate when they do this. You know what? Big words are invented to confuse the pores. That's all it is. That's all it is. You didn't go to university. You can't read my article. You're a peasant. Shut up. They didn't have to put that word in there. Let's reread this sentence as a poor peasant. Fluent, confident outputs are treated as authoritative, lowering the threshold for scrutiny and attenuating the metacognitive signals that would ordinarily route a response to deliberation, they write. This is pissing me off. So I think we've got the point. 73% of people will let AI drive them into a lake. I don't blame them. Like, this is the thing. We think this means people are stupid. This is a symptom of a society of burnout, a system that makes us be productive all of the time, never lets us rest, tells us that our worth is tied to what we can make, isolates us, puts us in these little metal boxes, flying down a highway, risking our life. The money gets funneled to the people at the top, and it wears on us our whole life. We've been shut down, we've been abused, we've been told we're stupid, we're dumb, and now I'm letting this robot drive me into a lake, because why not? Because I need a break. But Romshinators, I know that if you're watching this video, you are a real Romshinator, and you will never let this happen to you, because you're strong, you're powerful. You know that the burning light of consciousness within you is smart, it is strong, and it is floating out into the universe. When the universe was created, so were you. You will never born, and you will never die. And no AI is going to change that. Anyways, Romshinators, you could check out this article. It keeps going, but let's be honest. We're not smart enough because we don't know what the words mean. They overcomplicate these articles so much. It could have been one sentence. 73% of people will let AI drive them into a lake. So let's not be a part of that group. Let's question what we're told by the artificial intelligence. Let's question what we're told by everybody. Because not everybody has our best interest in mind, including massive corporations, if you can believe it. Thank you, Romshinators. Please let me know down below your favorite car to drive into a lake with, or what's your favorite lake to drive into. Thank you. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.